Howdy, howdy. Welcome to this week's training. I am honestly so excited about the topic today. So excited to be here. And I'm just going to be honest that this doing these trainings, sharing what I know and what I've learned is one of my favorite things. It's one of the best parts of my job. And so I am so excited to be here today and doing this. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. And I promise I'm going to go all in on this and make this high impact and valuable for you. So if you're new here, new to my trainings, my name is Simon. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and I am so excited again to do this. We call these. I'm going to start calling these. Well, I'm calling these Turnaround Thursdays, Turnaround Thursday trainings. And the point is that I tackle every week. I tackle a massive problem that our clients are facing in structure related to their digital growth, related to their growth in general, their marketing growth, their operational growth, their digital growth. And I tackle it and we go deep. And we talk about the problem you're facing, the feelings that you might be feeling, the silos within the organization, how the problem affects marketing, sales, operations, IT, and how we can cut through the clutter and get clear and really just separate signal from noise to tackle and solve these problems at a root cause and fix them and grow. And that's really the goal. So you ready to get started? I am all in and I'm ready to get going. So today's topic is called the lead leak model. That's the premise. The promise here that I'm going to deliver is why leads fail to convert in under-digitized real-world companies, maybe like yours. And if you have an under-digitized real-world company that you're trying to grow and develop, whether you're a leader, marketing leader, sales leader, executive leader, this is for you. Let's dive into it. If you've probably been at this point, and maybe this is where you're at today, the big question that you're asking yourself is, we need more leads. Everybody's saying we need more leads. The sales team saying, hey, we need more leads to close. Marketing's trying to get more leads. You want to max out your machines. You want to drive results. But in order to do that, you need sales. And in order to get sales, you need leads, right? But you have this question is like, well, the leads that we have got and we've tried to get in the past, why do they go nowhere? So we need leads, but every time we try to collect them, acquire them, why do they go nowhere? And really, what's stopping them from converting? Why won't they turn into a sale? Good news. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not the only one. Welcome to the club. It's kind of a large club, and it's a club with a lot of leaders in it that are asking the same questions. And it's a great club to be a part of because we're going to work through this together. So I love leading this club. So the situation here, if we just kind of back up and we look at what's going on within your organization or in your mind, some or all of these things probably apply, is that your CRM is full of warm leads. Like, they come in, they are supposed to be interested. The targeting is good. They've engaged with you. They've walked in for whatever reason. They're warm. They're not just cold or disinterested, but they don't really seem to progress. That's the first thing. The other thing that you might be dealing with is that your traffic or lead volume is up, right? You're getting more traffic to your website. You're getting more walk-ins to your sales office. You're getting more phone calls or form submissions, but really, like, that doesn't really turn into customers. So you're seeing a lot come in, or a growing amount come in, and only few turning into customers. And the rate that is coming in and the rate that is turning into customers isn't equal. Prospects are excited by your marketing content, so they're engaging with it. They're reading it. That's why traffic's going up. That's why people are downloading your stuff or contacting you or engaging on social media. Like, the marketing content is good, but they keep moving on. They don't turn into a sale. They don't progress into the next stages of conversation like you want them to. Internally, you might have these dynamics going on, maybe even finger pointing or frustration between marketing and sales. There's not collaboration, there's not alignment. And, honestly, that is so normal. And I've seen it a lot. And honestly, we're going to get down to how to help this. But that disconnect internally expresses itself externally, and your customers can feel it, right? And your team feels it and you feel it. So this sucks. We got to deal with it. You might be kind of like manually collecting leads from different sources, and that's normal to collect leads from different sources, but to do it manually and to do it messily, messily is probably not even a word, but to do it messily and to do it haphazardly, where there's a lot of errors and gaps and maybe dropping opportunities because the systems aren't integrated, like that happens, and that's a problem. Also, money is going into marketing, money's going into sales, but you probably feel like there is little to show for it in terms of revenue at the end of the day. If any of these, like, you might be sitting in this room by yourself watching this, but like raise your hand, even if you're in the room alone, if any of these apply to you, because this is what we're going to tackle and address today. What I want to introduce to you is the lead leak model. And this is a concept to kind of frame how this works and why this happens at the get-go. We are going to spend this training unpacking a number of models, really applicable to the solution and how to solve this problem. But first, we've got to understand what the problem is and how to solve it. And here's some show and tell for you. So this is what I call the lead leak model. Basically, what happens is we've got, see if I can draw here, up at the top, you've got leads coming in to the process, green arrows. And imagine you've got 10 leads that came in. 10 isn't very many, but for simple sake, we'll call it 10. And then you've basically got a pipeline. And I've kind of drew this like a plumbing model. And I probably don't need to over-explain this because it should be fairly self-explanatory, but leads come in the pipeline, they go down the pipe, and then they get to the goal where you want them to be. What's happening is you start with 10, and then you maybe get one. And really, you're asking yourself, well, that's not enough. We want more. We want more conversions. We want more leads to turn into sales. Well, what's happening between entry and goal or target is that you've got leaks. You got leaks in the pipe. And but you don't know what they are. So leads are going through, and at some point they leak out to just the bottom of the cabinet, and you might lose like a handful. Then there's another leak and you lose another handful. And then there's another leak and you lose another handful. And what happens is you start out with 10, and because of the leaks, you end up with 1, right? So the goal here is how can we plug these holes? How can we not just plug them, but identify them, close those gaps so that you lose less along each step of the way and you end up with more at the end. So there's always going to be gaps and transitions, but imagine if you started with 10 and you lost 1 at each stage, 10, 9, 8, 7, and you end up with 7 here at the end. Well, that would make you feel a lot better, wouldn't it? Let's talk about how to get there. One of the things that we're going to unpack a lot in this training, and we're going to unpack a lot of mindsets and thinking and approaches behind this problem. But one of the key things here that I need you to understand up front is that more inputs does not mean more outcomes. And you're probably seeing this with something like traffic. More traffic doesn't necessarily equal more leads. And as you're seeing, more leads does not necessarily equal more sales. More spend does not necessarily equal more traffic. It actually, like, you'd think that linear process would work. Spend, traffic, leads, sales, like boom, boom, boom. If I do the first thing, it'll happen. Well, the problem is between each of those is a system and a process that more in does not equal more out automatically. What you need to think of as we get into this is better inputs equals better outcomes. It's not a quantity game to solve your lead leak problem. It's a quality game to solve your lead leak problem. It's about getting better. It's about less leaks, not more water. Does that make sense? Less leaks, not more water. Once you solve the leaks, you can pump more water through and scale those results. But if you're dealing with a lead leak problem today, your mind needs to be thinking about less leaks, not more water. All right, I've said that enough times. Write it down. If you haven't written it down, that's okay. We're going to keep talking about it. So let's fix this. Let's really get into the mechanics of what we need to do. And so I want to frame the rest of the conversation, and then we're going to unpack for the next hour. So buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go. This is going to be a great time. I hope you're enjoying it already. So this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. I go fast, I go hard, I go big, and I go deep. And so I'm going to have a great time. I hope you do too. Today's deep dive, what we're going to uncover for the rest of training. First, we're going to reveal the hidden system you've been missing, the revenue design model. This is going to expose our leaks, or help us expose our leaks. Diagnosing the real drop-offs. We're going to look at the mapping and detection worksheet that you can use to not only see the leaks, but to fix them and solve them. Awesome tool. I'm going to give it away for free and set you up for success. I'm going to introduce what we call the acceleration loop process. This is really to fix things right. John Wooden, great UCLA basketball coach. So many great things he said about winning and growth that apply to business. But he says, if you don't have time to do it right, when are you going to have time to do it over? So we're going to talk about how to do it right so you don't have to do it over this time. Addressing objections and pain points. These are ones that you already feel, but you may not see. I'm going to surface them so you can see them, and then we're going to tackle them. Also just like talking about the next steps that you need to take today to fix the leaks in your business. So I'm not going to let you walk out of this training without knowing what you're going to do next. As long as you stick to the end, basically, I'm going to show you what you need to do. And heads up, full disclosure, I am offering a way, if you want to work with me, that you can, me and my team. You do not have to. You could take everything that we go through in this training for free, run with it, and break through some massive barriers. And so the pressure is not to work with me. The pressure is to grow. The pressure is to explore. The pressure is to dig deep. But I want you to walk away knowing what those next steps are for you that you need to take, no matter what they are. What you can expect from me. If it's not already clear, I'm going to lay it out plain. The first thing is, no pitches, no fluff. You're just going to get straight answers and clarity. I'm going to share the best of what I have and what I know just right for you. I'm going to give it to you. One of the values that we have here at Structure, at the company here that I run and own, is that, and I got this from Patrick Lencioni, great business author. He says, give away the business. And it's just this, what? Why would you do that? This is crazy kind of perspective that every time I say that to people, they just kind of like, you get just like, huh? Tilt, like, what? Why? But the truth is, I'm a consultant, not a salesperson. And my goal is to give you value. And so that's what I'm here to do. So straight answers and clarity. In the trenches, talk about the biggest challenges you face. We're going to tackle things head on. We take out the trash here. We don't avoid issues. We don't skirt around problems. We tackle them. We talk about them. We fight against them. We fight for each other, and we're gonna get some work done. Lastly, ideas and clarity. So you walk away knowing your best step. If you can't already tell, we're gonna talk about a lot of ideas, and so write them down. Take your time. Come back to this, because it might feel like a fire hose. There's nothing wrong with fire hose. It's a lot of water, but you just got to pace it. So it's good for fighting fires if you got one. So let's get into it. A little bit about me, and I don't want to take too long on this, but I do want you to have a background. So you know who is Simon? What's he about? Why do I need to listen to him? Or why should I listen to him? Or how's it going to help me? Okay, here's why. Couple pictures of my family just so you see us. I've got 4 kids. They are 6 to 10 years old. We packed them in there. My wife, Rebecca, we've been married for 12, 13 years now. My middle school sweetheart, we met when we were 11 years old. So we've been doing life together, and we have a lot of fun together. So who I am, basically, I've spent my entire career focused on one thing, doing it in different formats and ways, but I've been helping businesses growth, personal, professional, operational growth. That's what I'm all about. And how I've done that is I've managed a SaaS content marketing team. I've directed a agency content marketing team, like a marketing agency content team. Also built and sold an online course company before founding Structure. And so really across all that experience through tech, through agency, through content and education, I have learned what works and what doesn't in order to get customers and in order to drive growth. And in a lot of different industries. But my focus here is just I'm obsessed with driving and accelerating digital growth for under-digitized, privately owned, real-world companies. So we work with a lot of manufacturing, transportation, private equity kinds of companies that are like boring, unsexy kind of businesses, but they're great and they want to grow and they have a long history of success, great products, and there's a legacy there. So I'm really obsessed with accelerating those and helping them transition into the digital age and really further their vision and their values through digital means and modern technology. So really, I'm on a mission to make growth systematic and sustainable. No more marketing black box, no more lighting money on fire through their marketing. I want to make it systematic, sustainable, measurable, repeatable. And what I've done has worked, generated lots of revenue for clients, lots of results. And I want to do that for you. And so really at the end of the day, I want to do that for you. And I want that to be a key thing is I'm here to help you solve problems in your business. But I can't remember who said it. It's a great quote and I need to know who said this, but they said, all business problems are personal problems in disguise. And depending who you are, you might not like that very much. That's a hard hitting statement, but the truth is you get better, you see clearer, your business will get better and your business will be clearer. Your department, your team, your job will all get better as you get better, which is really drives us down to the last point on here is business is personal. That's a deep belief and the belief that my company Structure was founded on, because my goal is to help you drive results through your business through you. I am here to invest in you, to help you, to support you, and so you can crush it. And I want you to dare to dream big. I want you to think bigger, achieve more, and be a transformational leader in your organization. And that's my mission. And let's go after it. So let's dive in. Back to the material. What's wrong? What is wrong here with your leads? That's where we're coming back to as we dive in. Your core problem runs deeper than just the leads or the sales team. Leads go nowhere when there are hidden systemic issues sabotaging your marketing and sales process. This is where lead leak model comes in. There are hidden systemic issues that we need to solve here. And the reason that is because your marketing and your sales probably looks kind of like this. Which is we're doing a lot of things. And these are just some examples of things that our clients do, that we do. Blog posts, social media, ads, newsletter, PR, sponsorships, networking, LinkedIn outreach, events. You can keep going. Let's keep going. But it's just, it's just going out. There's not a cohesion. There's not a system. There's not a stacking. There's not a working together. It's just blasting, right? And there's leaks, but you don't know where they are. And things aren't really working together, right? I don't know if it feels like this to you, if this makes sense to you, but this is the reality with most of the clients that we work with most companies that we work with, is their efforts and their marketing activities are just chaos. So the invisible problem behind what you're dealing with, I'm going to just peel back layers of the onion here. So bear with me because we're just going to kind of peel back and dig. And underneath the surface of this is a few things. You want to win. You want it to work. But you you have likely, potentially, believed a lie that busyness and activity equal results. This goes along with just thinking quantity is your solution, but really busyness turns into burnout. That's not where you want to go for you or your team or your company. So behind this problem is some invisible issues. And one is just pushing hard, but not building momentum. I call this build, but not busy. And we have a value in our company, and we turn everything we believe into values because that helps us remember things. Is build up, build over busy. And that does encourage, but build, stack towards something. You might be trying to force results with more leads, more calls, more campaigns. Again, quantity, forcing results and outcomes through quantity, pushing. Also, you're probably, and this is the biggest one of them all, and one of the biggest things to fix first is flying the plane blind. You're flying a plane, but you can't see. You don't know what's working or not. It's like you're flying in the clouds with no radar, and it's raining and the wind is pushing you around. Like, that's the reality. So we got to fix these things. And I'm going deep here with you because I need you to think differently if we're going to solve this problem. And either you can think differently or you can find someone who does. But if you can think differently and find someone who does, you're going to crush it. So let's keep going here. Bear with me. This is amazing. This is a mindset shift here. 90% of leaders play a losing game in marketing. They exhaust themselves doing busy work while the winners focus on becoming champions. That's developing internal mastery, quality, controlling inputs, measuring, not flying blind, stacking successes, building, not just busy, right? They operate on fundamentally different rules and they get entirely different results. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how to do this. And I know I'm coming in hot and heavy. The truth is, like, this is so exciting. This is so exciting because I'm going to help you get entirely different results than you're getting now. That's my goal. So let's do it. Let's do it. Marketing, in order to do that, we have to make a shift. Big shift. Write this down. Marketing is more than a strategy. It's a system. It's a system. And until you address alignment issues from lead to sale and measure momentum, leads will continue to slip. I should have said drip, continue to drip away, leak, regardless of how hard you try. So here's the call. Get hopeless. Get hopeless about your current efforts. Get hopeless about the current approach. It's not going to work. Not going to work. You shouldn't keep trying. You need something completely new. You need an entirely new system that will work. And I'm going to show you it right here. I'm not going to keep promising something without showing you. I'm going to give you the system and you're going to walk away with it. But I got to prep you so that you're ready to change, so that you're ready to walk into something new, so that you're ready to push through the barriers and create transformational growth within your organization because you're becoming a transformational leader. The first model I'm going to teach you to really push this forward is the relationship revenue model. This is a model that we use to design revenue, to design growth, to design a customer's journey and value creation throughout the life cycle with you. We teach this model in our digital growth workshop that we do with every client. It's the first thing we do. And we walk you through this. Now, I'm going to teach you right here. You can do this on your own. If you want my help, would love to help. But if you want to run with this and play with it, I would love for you to. So I want to teach this model with a visual. Here's just, I live in Scottsdale or Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. And in Scottsdale, there is a hotel called the Global Ambassador. Now, it's fancy. It's awesome. And I use it as an example because it's fun and it helps break down because it's got to have a lot of components going on. If I used the Best Western, it would be much less exciting. So we're going to use a very flashy version for memorability here. This is the front of the global ambassador. Nice Ferrari just sitting there, super cool. It's got a nice entryway. The lobby is beautiful. There's restaurants inside. It has multiple levels of floors that include different rooms, types of rooms, wellness center, all kinds of stuff. And right here out in the front, you can't really see it, but this picture does it well, is if you go visit, there's a valet service, right? And on a normal day, it would be more busy, right? This is very clean, and there's one car sitting out front just for the picture. But you're going to see on the right, there's probably a line of McLarens and Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And then over on the left here, that's where they put all the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces. I mean, this is a nice place. Now, I don't want to scare you away with the cars. Cars are pretty cool, but I'm creating this picture for you. And your business is a lot like this. And I'm going to explain. This is the nice courtyard on the backside. So if you kind of flip over this wall here, right on the backside is this nice courtyard. They do weddings, events out here. Again, the restaurants out here as well. And what I want you to imagine your company as a hotel. And I give you the global ambassador as a model, right? Here's what I want you to think of. You've built a beautiful building and you've got an impeccable lobby, gorgeous guest rooms, and even a rooftop club. You've got fancy cars parked out the front. It's attractive. People want to come stay, right? But you forgot to pave the path to the front door. Imagine how ridiculous this is. People can't actually get in. Well, they can get in, but the path to getting in, they actually have to walk over this like dirt gravel mess. Okay. That's where you're at as a company, potentially. If you're struggling with leads, there's these hiccups, these problems. And the truth is, you're so focused on the great building that, and the experience, that you don't realize that path, they have to walk over this gravel to get to the front door of this fancy hotel, or, you know, what you built. Okay. I don't mean to drag this on. Let's keep going. How we map this out and how we find those gravel paths and those problems like that. That's one. You have others within the hotel, is through the relationship revenue model. Now, this is the model. Let me explain it to you. Basically, we go from the bottom up. That's why the arrows are here. We have two models in one. I'm going to break them down. The first one is this triangle, which is basically the AIDA model, AIDA model, which is a well-known model for mapping the customer journey from awareness to interest to desire to action. So becoming aware of your brand to buying from your brand. The other part of this model is called the revenue ladder, revenue expansion ladder. And it looks at from buying up here. This is the revenue expansion ladder or elevator. I'm not calling it the right thing. We'll get there in a second. Is what happens in the tiers that people go up to after they buy from you. So let's break it down. Revenue expansion elevator. Thank you. It's nice to have it right here. So here's that elevator. Basically, people come in down at the bottom and then they work their way up, and the bottom offer is a free offer, and then you have your initial offer, and then they work their way up. So if someone's going to buy from you, the first thing you do is some sort of free discovery thing, right? Imagine this as your lobby, as a hotel. This is like, they see the hotel, they drive up, they park, they come in, and they want to maybe, stay or eat or do something because they like the place, but they don't know what. So the first thing they do is they have to have a taste or experience of it that's free. That's a discovery process where they can say, is this right for me? And you can say, is this right for you? And your company, your experience, this free thing is a qualifying and trust building tool. So that's what it is on the bottom, right? And a hotel, imagine that's your lobby. Walk in, There's Wi-Fi, there's couches, there's you can smell coffee, there might be TVs to watch a game. Now, the point is not to stay and do that. The point is just to feel, is this a right fit? Now, this is for both of you. So that's the first thing. But then they buy, right? And what you want is a way for them to buy without like an easy next step. And the point is low friction, high value. And you want it to be a fairly low cost. And this is your entry level tier of product that you offer. So imagine in a hotel, we're just going to use this as an example. You can apply your own products and services to this model. But I want you to. So if you have the chance, draw this out and start writing in your own stuff here. But I'm going to use the hotel model as an example and a visual. And then what we're going to do, and I forgot to kind of take you here, but what we're going to do is we're going to identify the friction points and the gaps where leads are leaking through. But we have to map this out first. So for in the hotel, imagine this is the coffee shop. And a lot of nice hotels have one. The Global Ambassador has one called Le Marquet. It's kind of a French little, cute bakery coffee shop thing. There's other ones. What's that cute Hilton in Franklin, Tennessee? It's a Curia Collection. Anyway, it's got a nice little restaurant there. Very cute. Anyway, happens all the time. So that's a way to engage with the hotel without going big. Then you have your core main offer next. This is the main thing you want people to buy. So for a hotel, think guest rooms, right? Guest rooms, stay overnight. It's not egregious, but you get to experience the entire, the most experience of the hotel at a reasonable price that they can experience the brand and want more. So that's what that core offer is. So for you, determine what that might be. Then you have another tier. It doesn't end at the core offer. You have the value add offer. This is the upsell path. What can you add on that gives them an enhanced experience that takes them further into relationship with you or an experience with your brand that you can actually make more money on, bigger margin, that makes their every other piece more valuable. So for a hotel, this would be something like the wellness club, right? And a lot of hotels have a free exercise room. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what the Global Ambassador has is they actually have a club. You go in, you pay, you get like wellness, green smoothie shots. You do a yoga class. You get to hang out in the spa, meet other people, get a robe, like do a workout. Like it's an experience. And it's more than just, I'm going to go run on a treadmill. It's I'm getting healthy. I'm getting well at this place. And that may be unique to the Global Ambassador. I think a lot of hotels have it, but what I'm really getting to is like a spa. Think of it as a spa. That's often a resort type of place would have that upsell. You pay extra, but you get a spa treatment. Think of it like that. What is that for you? And then really finally at the top, and you can have an unlimited number of offers, but this is how we map it out to keep it from being too complex, is you have your premier level. This is your profit maximizer where you don't need this, but it's because you love the experience so much, you want to get the most you can out of it. This is the VIP experience, right? So, for the Global Ambassador, this might be the rooftop lounge and club that you pay extra to get access to. The food is nice. The food is fancy. The food is expensive. Great drinks, rooftop experience, views of Camelback Mountain. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful, right? What is that for you that is really the entire purpose is to just mind-blowing experience, the deepest relationship they could have with you and the best thing that they're going to have. And the point is they get a ton of value and it's fun and you get the highest profit margin you can. Okay. That's the revenue expansion elevator. And man, we really went deep on that. Really great. I want you to map this out for you and or bring me in to help you, because this is a crucial component to identifying your lead leaks. Now, what does this have to do with leads? This is all about buying. Yes, it's all about buying, and it's all about buying because in order to get Leads are for sales. Leads need to know what they're buying. And we have this value at Structure that I say vision gives life. Without vision, things die. Without vision, leads die. Without vision, customers die. Relationships die, right? It's like that with any relationship. If you're not going anywhere with it, what's the point in having it? So we first need to map out, where are we going with these leads? Okay, you understand that? Then what we're going to do next is, how do we get the leads into this place where we want them? But we need to figure out the lead process. This is where we get to the attraction pathway. Here we are. This is that triangle component that leads up to the sale. So this is kind of reverse engineering the entire process, but of your business. And now what we're doing is we're saying, in order to give that amazing buying experience, that revenue expansion elevator, we need to attract people. And we're going to use the attraction pathway as a way to do that. So they come in, this is an upside down marketing funnel. If we're going to get real simple and specific here, leads come in from the bottom and they come into awareness with you. Awareness is visibility and curiosity. Okay, for the hotel, this is the building. This is, yeah, the building. This can be your social media. This can be ads in the local magazine, you know, for the global ambassador. But for you, this could be a lot of things. This is really all your marketing, trying to get news out. So this is visibility and curiosity. It's free. You pay for that visibility. But what's next is, after they see the building, then what? Well, they develop interest. How do they develop interest? Through credibility and social proof. So what happens here is, this is where you not only see the building of the hotel, but there's the cars parked out front. That's why they put the McLarens and the Bentleys and the Ferraris out there. It's credibility. It's social proof. If the rate for the hotel is whatever, you know, $500 a night, it's expensive, probably. I don't even know. I haven't looked. I haven't stayed there. $1,000 a night, you know, you want to know, is this worth it? And when you see McLaren's parked out front, you know, okay, this is for me, you know, if you have that kind of money. That's the point. Social proof. There's life here. There's stuff happening. This is a place to be. This is a fit for me. That's what they want to know. And maybe it's not McLarens and Ferraris for you. It doesn't matter. The point is it something that feels connecting, where there's credibility that you are a product of the product, that you do what you say, and that others are interested in it too. That's the point. Interest. Then you have desire, the desire stage. This is also free. These are all free. You're trying to win them over. Trust building. This is the point here. This is where you engage with them in some sort of way that's free, so that they know it's not just a facade of cool stuff and people, that there's people to support them. And this is why you have like a concierge in a hotel, or a greeter at the door. They say, hi, how's it going? How can I help? You looking for anything? Can I point you in the right direction? What is that for your business? These are all free. You don't have to pay. Customers don't have to pay to get any of this. But you know what it makes them do? It leads them into the next thing. They say, hey, you know what? I'm just checking it out, but man, I'm thirsty. I need a snack. Pick me up. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to get a coffee, and boom, they buy. That's your action. And that's your first step. And you've got them in. And then what you can do is you can level them up from there. See how that works? So I want you to do this for your business too. And this is your marketing funnel that leads into the purchasing. What are these steps, and what are things along this funnel for you and your company that attract customers into buying? Now, once you get this, here's where it gets real. Misalignment at transitions is the silent killer of marketing impact on revenue. The transitions and the steps between is where people drop off. These are where the leaks are. These are where the leaks are. So it's helpful, right? Once you have this mapped out, you can then say, okay, now we can look at the leaks, the biggest opportunities for leaks, the friction points, the transitions, going from awareness to interest, interest to desire, desire to action, or even unawareness to awareness. I should have even start there. All of that, these are where people really drop off. So the question you're probably asking yourself now is, how do I find out what those leaks are? Okay, thanks. Now we know the transitions, super helpful. Where are the leaks? Okay, we're going to use a tool that I've developed and that we use here internally. And it's really, I'm just going to give it to you for free so you can play with it as well and use it to identify the leaks in your funnel. And we don't really have time to unpack all this in the training. We got to move on into some of the other topics. And some of the pieces of this so you have the full perspective. But you can dive deep here using the Lead Leak Model tool. It's got two parts. We've got the leak identification matrix, which is basically points out the transitions, the purpose of each transition, and some prompts for you to start thinking, and then drop-off clues to look at as maybe possibilities or common drop-off clues for each transition to help you find where those leaks might be. Then I give you the leak detection worksheet, which it really helps you diagnose and resolve those breakdowns. And it's really the next step is here, here are the different, you say the columns, unawareness to awareness, awareness to interest, these guys. Those are the transitions. And then you go through and you score it. You look at what's working well, where friction points are, what do you think is causing it, core causes, and then if you have any ideas to improve those transitions, then you write them here. And what you walk out with is a plan. You can walk out and you can give this to anybody on your team to work on and to resolve and to make those better. So you can get this for free. It's a Google Doc, and you can download it, make a copy, use it on your own for your team as many times as you want. Share it with others if you'd like. Just scan the QR code or go to wearestructured.com/leak. It's really just a tool, help you figure out where is the traffic entering, where does it drop off, and what are the leak points. So free resource for you. Take that and run with it as we go forward. And I'm going to continue to teach this topic, and you can use that as one of your tools. Basically where we're at is what I want you to see is, in order to solve your lead leak issue, you don't need more tactics. You don't need trendy strategies. You really need a system that tells you what's working. And that's what that model does, and that detector. When you have your relationship to revenue model, you have your lead leak detection built out, you start to see trends. You start to see what's not working. And we're going to keep getting into this. And when you can see what's not working, you know how to fix it. So how do you not only just find the issues, but how do you fix them? You fix them through what we call the acceleration loop process. And this is a very key process that takes you through the 4 phases of our digital growth system. And let me share these with you. The first phase is alignment. Mapping out your customer journey, aligning on goals and metrics. This is getting clear on your revenue model, on your on the awareness part, like all of this. What is true and what is the aligning? Activating is then, once you have clarity and you know what to fix, you develop a roadmap and infrastructure for your marketing system. You start solving the problems and putting the components in place to facilitate what you've mapped out. Hope that makes sense. Amplification is the third step. You implement the high impact exponential growth strategies. Now, what I want you to see here is that this is where most people start. Well, maybe activation, but either way, when we looked at that model that was just like all the marketing chaos, that's just amplifying things, right? And it's amplifying them without alignment. They're not all going in the same direction. They're going different directions. So amplification done with alignment sends everything in the same direction. Okay. Acceleration, this is where you start to really identify leakage and friction in the aligned effort, because just because you align it, this is such a key thing. And we have to, and I want to really call this out, is just because you align it, activate it, amplify it, you go through this perfect process, the product is not going to be perfect because we don't live in a perfect world. Okay. So there are going to be problems still, even though it's going to be better. Now, what you just need is a system to identify those problems and make adjustments. And that's the last step, is acceleration. So don't be fooled or naive just to think that if we do it right and we do these 4 phases, it's going to be perfect. No, it's going to be better. It's going to be way better. It's going to be transformational, yet it's not going to be flawless. Okay. So part of a great process, of an elite transformational growth process, is having a plan and a system for when things don't go right and when things don't work, because that will happen. All right. So here's the thing. Then the cycle repeats. Each loop builds on the last: deeper alignment, stronger activation, smarter amplification, and sharper optimization. Most companies do random acts of marketing. No go. We build compounding systems. Growth is all about compounding. And in order to grow, you need a compounding system. And so what's going to happen here when you start to implement the acceleration loop process in your company, in order to solve this problem, and you do it in this order, is a few things are going to happen. If you do alignment first, you're going to transition and transform from just random acts of marketing to a resolute system of marketing. By doing activation as step 2, you're going to go from informational website, informational social media, informational newsletters, to transformational newsletters, transformational website, transformational social media. Amplification, you're going to go from confusing customers because you're headed in all different directions, to converting customers because you're talking about the same thing and driving them down the same path. Acceleration, if you do acceleration step 4, you're going to go from fragmented attempts at amplification to building momentum and stacking and compounding. Okay. The acceleration loop is a process, and it's a process that helps you do things in the right order. Okay. Now, in order to get those transformational results, you need a system to run that process. And that is what's called the digital growth system. And the digital growth system runs the process consistently, turning strategy into a sustainable growth engine. So this is the digital growth system. And it's the 4 steps of the 4 phases of the amplification loop that loop around and that run consistently, one after another, and they build on one another, and you improve them year after year, month after month, quarter after quarter, and go through the process. And here's why it works, is because it's like a flywheel. This is why the digital growth system works when other systems don't, other strategies don't. And what you've been working on for the last however long may not be working, right? Is because it's a flywheel. It builds momentum. It drives inertia forward without as much effort. And this is a fun visual. On the left, you got a well pumping. I mean, every time you put out a blog post, social media post, newsletter, it all just feels like pumping. And you might be like, cool. Then we get an input. Then we get like some leads. Oh, we launched this. Then we get some leads. But every time you have to pump. What if you had a system that was constantly pumping and you had to do inputs, but it didn't just rely on you doing one input to one output? It was something that moved, that constantly poured out the results that you wanted, right? On the right, you have that flywheel. It's not like it only spins by itself, but it does keep running by itself, and it takes less. So there's 3 things that happen when you run this kind of model or this system. Is it's effective. Activities flow smoothly from one to the next. We talked about transition points. We talked about drop-offs. We talked about leads. When you have a system that runs in the right order and goes through the right steps, you're going to have less drop-offs, less stop and starts, less fits and spurts, right? It's going to push forward and cover up operational mishaps, misjudgments, mistakes. It really is. It's awesome. Efficiency. Okay. Each rotation is easier than the previous rotation. This is so critical because right now you're sweating effort, energy, activity, trying so hard to make it work. But it's really not building into anything. So when the inputs build on each other, the effort gets easier and you actually get more output. Lastly, exponential. Each rotation produces more than a previous rotation. The best way to explain it is just to look at this visual. And on the right, the flywheel is consistently pouring out water. On the left, it's going kind of here and there. So what you want is a outsized results ROI. You want exponential ROI, asymmetrical ROI. You don't just want one-to-one. And I think of this like investing money. And I don't want to belabor the point, but like when you invest money, you don't put money in, like personally. You don't put money into a fund and expect to get out the same that you put in. No, you expect it to grow on itself, be worth more, and multiples more, right? And investing in marketing should not be any different. But often we light money on fire instead of it being exponential. It's wild. We need to get to this point. All right. That's the system. I want you to run it. Okay. Before we move on to the killers, I just want to make one more point here. And just, it wasn't in my plan, but like this system is going to take you far. And at Structure, we run digital growth systems for our clients. So if you want our help running one for you, we can plug and play this right into your business. But you could also do this too. And what you need is a system. And no matter how you get it done, you need it. And we'd be happy to help. We do this all the time. We do it right. We do it fast. It's great. But the point is, you need a system. Okay. Now, there's things that we do as leaders that we kill the progress. We kill growth. We kill confidence. And we don't mean to. Okay. But I want to point them out. And if you're doing any of these things, the point is like become aware that you're doing these things and reorient to alignment, acceleration, align to a system. Okay. Instead of these ad hoc attempts and knee-jerk reactions and killers of your success. One is just throwing more money at ads. This is the shotgun approach, shooting from the hip, right? That's not a great strategy to actually get results. It's a strategy to move fast, but you know, there's this great quote. I didn't even put it in here, but and I don't remember who said it, so I can't really attribute it. But they said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So it depends on your goal. What do you want? You want to go fast? Shoot from the hip. But if you actually want to go far, if you actually want to make an impact, if you actually want to grow and transform and leave a legacy, like, got to find a way to go together. Okay. Blame and shake up the team, clean the house move, right? This is fire the agency, fire the marketing director. These people suck. We need to bring in a new something, right? Like this happens all the time. Blame game. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an agency owner. If they're not serving you, they're not serving you. But often instead of getting results or driving towards results or leading, it's just fire them and try again with a new person. And you kind of just churn and burn on that one. So just be aware. Slashing prices or offering heavy discounts, the fire sale tactic. We're not getting leads. We're not getting sales. Well, cut the price more, run a discount, you know, and the truth is those things can work to drive revenue quickly or to move product, old product, especially. Like there's reasons to offer discounts, but doing it as a desperation move is not going to solve your lead leak problem. It's just a Band-Aid, And you're going to continue to have that problem over and over and over. And you're going to continue to have to offer discounts over and over and over. And you're going to continue to drive your profit down, 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 down. So don't do that. Let's solve the problem because I gave you a path, and I'm going to take you through a path. Adopting the shiny new tool, tech Band-Aid, right? This is, a new CRM came out, or a new tool came out to do outreach, or a new, marketing attribution tool came out, or that we want to put, chat on our website. Are those things wrong? Is chat on your website wrong? No. Great. It can be awesome. But it's more about what's the purpose. It's more about what are you solving? Does it solve a problem? So the question is, does the tech Band-Aid solve your lead leak problem? And that's what you need to be asking. Or do you just really need a system? Okay. Chasing the latest marketing trend. Ooh, a new platform came out. Let's launch, let's start putting content on it. Gosh, I don't know. It could be anything. My brain's blanking right now, but seems to always be new marketing trends, right? Silver bullet marketing. And the point is not really the trend. The point is thinking that trend is going to fix your problem, or that's going to unlock everything, or that one thing is going to work. And it never does. Never does. It just extends you further and pulls your focus away and takes you in a direction that they want you to go, but it may not be where you want to go. Okay. Micromanaging and squeezing harder. This is a tough one. This is just the pressure cooker of as a leader. And I learned this phrase from Dan Martell, and you might feel the same, is I use emotion to create motion, right? That is so powerful for a leader to be able to do that, especially positive emotion for positive motion. So good. But the problem is that we use negative emotion to drive positive motion. It doesn't work. It really drives negative motion, right? So positive emotion can drive positive motion. Negative emotion can drive negative motion. And you need to be aware of that. Because your emotion, your micromanaging, your squeezing, your pressure can be positive or negative, and it's up to you to decide. Okay. Those are the killers. Here's the thing. I want you to remember all of these, I'm going to call them knee-jerk solutions because they're often reactions, have something in common. They treat symptoms in isolation, and they provide a temporary sense of action, but they don't address the cohesive, strategic misalignment that's the root cause. Okay. And this is what it comes down to, is most leaders try all these before they actually address the real problem. And here is my opportunity and call for you. If you're trying these, if you're doing these, if you think these are going to solve your problem, if you're halfway through this list, stop. Please, for your sake, for your team's sake, for your company's sake, there's a better way. There's a better way that is solving the strategic, deeper problem that will actually take you where you want to go. It's the root cause. And let's get down to that. Now, let's dive into the next section here. And this is called questionable questions. Ha ha ha, it's fun. And this isn't to drive negative emotion or negative motion. This is to address some of the questions that I get asked, that we get asked regularly. And a lot of the questionability of them is just revolving the framing of them, the reframing of them, the thinking behind them. So I'm going to answer these questions on a face value, and I'm going to answer them on a deeper level, just like I do everything. And so let's go through these because I think some of these questions are going to be relevant to you, probably what you ask. And so let's tackle them. Lead leaks. So one of the first questions I get is this a marketing sales issue? We've talked about finger pointing throughout this training. We've talked about silos during this training. We've talked about blame game in this training. We talked about clearing house in this training. Like, this question, is this a marketing sales issue, is really the heart of this. It's a good question. You're trying to figure out, is it a marketing sales issue? So on the surface, good question. The answer is both. If your lead leaks are both, it's a marketing issue and a sales issue. There are gaps in your marketing funnel, and there are gaps in your marketing to sales handoff, and there's gaps in your sales nurturing process and your sales closing process. It's all the above. It's a marketing and sales issue. Okay. Now, the heart of this that I want to reach out to is when I read this question, I ask, who are you going to fire? And when you ask this in your company, that's what they think is, who's he going to fire? marketing or sales, or someone in marketing or sales. And it's like, who's going to be the neck wringing on this one? Now, this is a positive, negative emotion thing that I want to call out. Is this question can really wreak some havoc in the business and cause fear. It can cause avoidance from team members. Not that they're trying to manipulate you, but they're trying to save their jobs, right? So I know I'm going super deep on this one, but the point is, if you have an illegal lead leak issue and you're asking, is this a marketing and sales or sales issue? The answer is yes, it's a marketing and sales issue. And the question should be, how do we align marketing and sales to solve this problem? How do we make this a teamwork thing? And before we blame a person, let's look at the process. Because it might be a people problem. But you know what? The likelihood is the people problem, if it's a people problem, it might be you. And if it's not you, it's a process issue. So I'm just speaking from experience on that one. And that's how I'd address that question. Are we targeting the right customers? That's a great question. Are we targeting the right customers? And often we look at the targeting. Now, this can go a lot of ways. And if you're leaking leads, like traffic's high, but conversions are low, you're targeting customers. And, you got to look down that pipeline and say, where in the funnel, where in the awareness process are they dropping off? And I think that's probably really what you want to know is you're getting a lot of top of funnel traffic, but where are they dropping off? That will give you more insight than are we just targeting the right customers? Again, not really a problem with asking we're targeting the right customers, but rarely is that the issue, really. So look at your ads, look at your targeting, sure. Look at where they're coming in from. But the truth is, if those things are right, the bigger issues usually are in the funnel. And you can target the right customer and still lack leads because of the transitions are the problem. That's how I'd really look at that question. Do we need a CRM or a better technology to fix this? Maybe. You probably do to measure it. But the caution here is not, and I don't want to just be cautious and, fearful on anything, but the biggest danger I see in this question is looking for that shiny technology to fix it. And the truth is the technology will not fix it. So technology will amplify whatever you have. It's a servant. It's a machine that does something for you and amplifies current processes or exposes or provides accessibility to current processes. That's what technology does. So do you need a CRM or better technology to improve your growth in marketing? You do need that. And you need to be able to measure at every step in the revenue relationship model to know what's going on. But will it fix it? No. How can we hold our team accountable? Great question. The best way to hold your team accountable is through metrics. Yeah, metrics and coaching. And, no matter who you are as a leader, metrics and knowing the numbers and tying activities to outcomes is accountability, right? Because you want activities and you have to do activities and inputs to achieve outcomes. So the question is, are you doing the right activities? What activities do they need to be doing? Identify those. Those are inputs. Are you doing them? That's accountability. Then the outputs, are the right things happening because of those activities? Those are outputs. So both of those need clear number metrics. That's how you hold them accountable. And then your goal is to help them use their skill sets to get to green, to get the results you want, right? We call that get to green here at Structure. We have a process behind this. I did a training just a week ago on digital growth dashboard and digital growth metrics that will be a huge help on holding your team accountable and measuring marketing results. So you'll want to watch that. It includes a free download for a dashboard that you can use to hold people accountable and to hold your process and your system accountable. And I'd really highly recommend that. I think the key here is that oftentimes the problems that we're facing, especially in under-digitized real-world organizations, we want to point to people and point at people because we don't have processes that are defined enough to solve, to fix problems. So we just fire people and point at people and blame people. Now, where you need to shift to as an organization, as a leader, in order to really grow and succeed in marketing, is to go from just people doing things to people running processes that are part of a system that gives you an output. Now, those people have to do their job to run that system, but really you're partnering with them and bringing them in to improve a system that can run without them, and that they can be fully human and the system runs, and their job is to do the right inputs and make sure the system's running, right? But the question isn't, the question is the system running, and are you doing the right things? And that's the framing to get to. And I know I might be talking about that in broad terms, but I'm really thinking about that in terms of marketing and sales. Is you get a marketing system and a sales system, connect those two, and you have people that run some of the inputs in that, it's going to give you the right output. That's where you need to be. And that's what the digital growth system really does for you, is it gives you a framework to not just point fingers at people, but empower people to run a system and a process that moves you forward and helps them feel empowered. Is it our product price process? Okay. Great questions. Are we having leads because of our product, our price, or our process? Potentially. Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, if you're a multiple decades old company and you're selling and you're in the, $20 to $70 million range, somewhere in there, you've got product market fit. And so I wouldn't jump to product and price, and I wouldn't jump to fire sales. And honestly, you probably have a massive customer base to get feedback from. So I would jump to understanding and feedback. But is it our process? The likelihood is yes. And these are great questions. It's your process has a lot to do with the lead leaks. And likely what I see, and for most of our clients and most businesses, no matter what industry you're in, is your process, your systems may be undeveloped, especially in under-digitized real-world companies. So the key is implementing processes and systems to drive momentum, to reduce leaks, and to measure. What are our competitors doing differently? Great question. I mean, they may, if you're looking at a competitor and they're crushing it digitally, they probably have a better system, and they might just have more people, and they might have a bunch of funding, and they may be just pouring money into a crappy system that's not working, that just looks like it's working. So it could be anywhere on that line. But what I think I would guide or advise towards is learn from your competitors and see what they're doing and learn from what they're doing. But you know what? Just because they're doing it doesn't mean that it's working. And it doesn't mean you should be doing it, because if they're doing it, it's already being done, right? And then what makes you different from them that would make your customers want to choose you instead of them? So, competition is about finding your unique edge, not being the same, but better, right? Being different, but better. So it's about your unique angle, unique edge, your unique position, your unique ability as a company. And that's a massive part of marketing and differentiation in the marketplace, and competition is knowing what you're best at and doing that. So that's what I would lean into. The deepest thing that I would say here about this question is instead of like, this is an outward looking question. What are our competitors doing differently? So you have a problem. We've got leads, we've got leaks. What are they doing? And so instead of, what I want you to see is you can either look out at other people and other circumstances and other issues and go external, or you can look internal and you can look at the mirror and you can ask yourself, what are we doing that's failing? What are we doing that sucks? What gaps do we have that we don't see, or we see but we're not willing to address? And so before you ask, what are our competitors doing differently? Ask, what do we need to do differently? And do that. Do that. And if you need to learn from your competitors in that process to see what's possible, go for it. But I bet, I would honestly just say your customers are going to give you better feedback than your competitors. So that's my thinking and my perspective on it. Take it for what you will. But I would go down that line. How long will it take to see improvement if we change things? Great. Okay. I'm imagining you're sitting here saying, we've got this digital growth system. Thank you for sharing. We've got these tools. We've got this model. Like, we can start to piece together a forward plan, and we're going to run this. I'm going to take this and run with it. How long will it take to see improvement? Well, if you're doing it yourself, there's a lot of pieces missing from the puzzle that we just can't fit into this training that there are in other trainings. So you're going to have to learn more. You're going to have to make mistakes and close gaps. I would say you're going to probably spend a good portion of your year trying to figure it out. Okay. And then once you do that, you might start to see traction next year. That would be my thought. This isn't a pitch. This is just honest feedback. If you say, hey, let's work together, hire you. I'm not even done with this presentation. We got more to go. So don't worry. I'm not pitching you hardcore. I'm just giving you a straight up answer here is, hey, we're going to hire structure. We're going to work together. How long does it take to see improvement if we hire you and change things? Well, the truth is it's still going to take some time, right? You skip the learning. So you buy time from hiring someone who already knows the whole process and can implement it and run it. So big win. However, it's still going to take time. It takes time to plan. I would say it's going to take 3 months to align, and then it's probably going to take a good 6 months to activate changes, right? Once you're activated, you need to amplify. Then it's going to take about 3 months to really amplify, to get going, to get momentum, to get stuff out there on a consistent, repeatable cadence. So we're 3, 6, 9, we're at a year. Okay. So that's going to take a year. The thing is, you bought a year from hiring help. So that's cool, but it's still going to take a year to get lift off. Okay. Now, after that year, you're measuring and you're accelerating. So things are running, things are out there, and you're starting to measure and grow. You've got about 3 months to set a baseline, 3 months to set your growth rates. Then from there, you're stacking growth. So here's the short of it. I would look at your digital growth in terms of a 3-year mission. 3-year mission. It's going to take about a year and a half to really get going, really get liftoff, really get traction. You're going to see results earlier, but to start to really see compounding efforts, year and a half. That second year and a half, from 1.5 to 3, is going to be scale. It's going to be compounding at a rapid pace. That'll be your 3-year mission, and you will see a complete transformation in 3 years. Okay. Now, if you're doing it yourself, 4. Okay. Maybe 5, because you're probably going to make more mistakes in there and you're going to have to learn. And that's part of the learning process. So hire structure to run the system, 3 years to see the transformation. Do it yourself, 5 years. And that's kind of the goal. What we do is that when we sit down with our clients, we set a 10-3-1. And I've shared about this in previous trainings. This is called our 10-3-1 growth trajectory. But we set a 10-year vision because we believe that you should think in decades, not days. This will take you from solving knee-jerk reactions to seeing the future. We're going to see a 10-year future for you, and we're going to map it and create it so that you can have that trajectory to look at. Then we're going to take that 10-year and break it into a 3-year mission to get the most groundwork laid and to get a massive win and transformation happening to take you into the 10-year. That's the 3-year mission. 10-year vision, 3-year mission. Now we build a system around that 3-year mission. Then we do 1-year goals. So we look at 1-year goals and we say, what are the things that need to happen over the next 1 year in order to make that effort, momentum, trajectory towards the 3-year mission. We go deeper than that. We get into outcomes, we get into strategies, and we get into tactics, right? It goes all the way down, and that's its own model and process. But the 10-3-1 is a framework that gives you a timeline and a trajectory and a big picture of how to think about transformation, how to think about digital transformation. Who can help us figure this out? Well, great question. There are lots of agencies. There's local agencies. There's lots of teams that can help, and you can look for help. I would say that local agencies are focused on local work. I would love to help you, though. Our team would love to help you. You can hire freelancers to do it. You can kind of cobble together your own team. Cobble is like, I don't mean to use a negative word there, but you can build your own freelance team, which is fine, but you're going to have to manage them and it's going to take time. You can build an internal marketing department, which is great. The opportunity there is they're all yours. They're owned by you. They are all there for you 100%. And you can hire at fire at will, and you get to really dig in culturally with them. Which is awesome. So building a team is a great way to go, but do know it's going to extend your trajectory or timeline. Our team, I would love to help you out. And we are a remote agency consulting company that works with clients across the United States. And we have a process, and we have values, and we have a culture, and we want to partner with our clients. And so if you want to go deep, if you want a bolt-on marketing agency without the overhead and the management, with a process that you can implement that works right away without all the learning and drag, I would love to help you. I lead the team, I guide, I consult, I advise, and we have a team that of specialists that really deliver on many of the components. And so we can talk about this a little bit more. But the ultimate question I want you to ask yourself before I get into more kind of next steps is, how do we build a system that consistently turns leads into revenue? How do we build a system that can turn leads into revenue? That's the ultimate question I want you to ask. All these tactical questions are great, but at the end of the day, if you walk away thinking about how can we build this system, that's really where you need to be. Takeaways. Okay. Most companies that wait on this, they lose another year stuck just trying to figure things out. And that's kind of what we asked about timeline. It's like you kind of spend a year spinning your wheels. That's what I see. You can do that. But I don't want you to have to do that. Or, what they also try is they just want to magically grow results without developing themselves or the teams. They're just going to, you kind of consistently just look for that silver bullet, that magic tool, that technology or trend that's going to solve it. And you can do that. And you might have already done that. But I want you to win. I want you to grow. I sincerely care. And I just don't want you to go down this road of trying things that don't work, because I know where it ends up. And so, I want you to ask a couple questions right now. This will help you see your unique path forward. The question is, what's holding you back from doing the real work? And the real work being building the system, facing the mirror, tackling the core issues. What's holding you back? Is it resources? Is it people? Is it culture? Is it fear? Is it like, Go internal and look on this one. What resources and opportunities do you have right now? Great question to ask. Is like, and what I want you to see here is that you have opportunities. There are things in front of you. There are resources. There are possibilities that are in front of you, and the trick is seeing them, believing they're there, seeing them, and then taking advantage of them. And there's this great quote that's, gosh, I'm going to do it again. I don't know who says it, but it's do what you can. Start with what you have, and do what you can. Something like that. And the point is, we often think if I had X, I could do this. Now, and that's maybe true, but that's not going to help you start. What do you have right now? If you take action on this plan, if you move ahead to build a system, what might success look like in 90 days? Just imagine everything we talked about, the process, the plan, frameworks, you did it. What could happen in 90 days? What kind of money could you make? How many leads could convert into a sale? What's the revenue? What's the profit? What might be possible? Then lastly, what would it cost you in the next 90 days if you don't do anything? If you stay where you're at, what's the drag? What's the debt? What's the cost of staying the same? What kind of leads would you lose? It's a really powerful question. So the next step one is keep trying. I don't necessarily need to read through this whole list. I guess maybe I will, but like, you can keep trying. Decline in growth, waste marketing spend, burnout, lose great talent, potentially great people that are just underutilized. Anyway, increase friction and blame, erode trust, financial feast and famine, miss out on market leadership. Like, these are all outcomes that you could keep trying and this would happen. Or I want to invite you to join me for a digital strategy workshop. This is your best next step. And this is a picture of a recent workshop with a client that we did. And it looks like we're playing cards. This is actually an exercise to discover more about their brand through their archetypes. It's a really great process. Anyway, but what I want to do in this workshop is I want to help you map your revenue model. I want to help you see your big 10-3-1, map your revenue model, audit the leaks, find a path, build a path to transform your company and your growth. We do this. It's a day and a half in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's beautiful. And you can bring your team. It's a great time. So if you're interested in this, you can get started and talk to us. You don't have to commit or pay right today or even like book a date or anything. But if you're interested, just QR code, scan it with your phone, or go to wearestructured.com/start. And that's the best place to start. In the workshop, we're going to clarify your growth vision. We're going to align your team around the right metrics. We're going to help you identify your key performance metrics and your vision, and you're going to get a done with you strategic plan. You're going to walk out with a lead leak fix. And I love this quote that was said recently, that this is more than a strategy session. It's a business transformation starting line. So if you're at that spot where you want to transform the business, and maybe it's even a generational pass off, and you want to transform the thing to be something you really want to be a part of, this is a starting line. It's a great starting line, and life is full of starting lines. And this is one of them that might change the trajectory of the company. It might change the trajectory of your life. Some pictures from recent workshops. We always have fun. We've done wine tours. We've hiked mountains. We've gone out. We go out to dinner. Like, not only are you getting a workshop, you're getting a relationship, you're getting a friend, you're getting a partnership. And we take this time to really get to know one another and unpack layers, dynamics, opportunities that go way beyond just the issues that you're facing in the moment. Although that's the point of tackling them, we get to really support each other, and that's really fun. So if you scan that QR code, go to wearestructured.com/start. You're going to land on this page, and you just click schedule your free session. And this is a free session. This is where it starts. We want to get on a call with you, and we want to do a discovery session, and we want to talk to you so you can feel out and see, hey, is this the right fit? Is this what I want to do? We can make sure that you are the right fit and that we're going to be able to crush it for you, because we don't want to waste your time. So we're going to spend an hour. We're going to talk through some of the challenges you're up against, the opportunities you have that just are really unique to your business. We're going to know you and make sure it's the right fit. And so if that's interesting, again, here is the ways, the QR code and the URL to just start that process and start that conversation with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, it's an honor. It's an honor to teach this. It's an honor to do these trainings. And I love sharing with you. I want you to grow. I want you to transform. And my vision as a leader and as a company is to really help you experience transformational growth. And we're on a mission as a company to help 40 leaders over the next 3 years experience transformational digital growth and exponential ROI from their marketing efforts. So if you're interested, if that's you, if you want to be a part of this or experience this, just let us know. And I hope to see you in a workshop soon. Okay, bye.